Hey guys, welcome to this week's Monday Bites. I'm Vivian Chan, and 'tis the season for apples. Apples are popping up everywhere, and there are so many different kinds at the farmer's market. So today I wanted to highlight the star apple, not just one, but I think I chose the top most popular to share with you. So we're gonna have a whole meal just highlighting just the apple. First off, we're gonna have an apple app, not the ones for your phone. Second, we're gonna have an apple entree, which is pork chops and applesauce, but not that jar stuff. We're gonna make our own, and it's gonna have a little twist to it. And last but not least, apple pie, but not like your mama's apple pie. This is perfect for that social media photo, because you know you wanna do that. So let's get started with our delicious apple app. We have some caramelized onions going. Caramelized onions is just cooking down thinly cut onion. This is a yellow onion with some butter and a pinch of sugar. Once it gets to a point like this has been going for about 30 minutes or so. It is a labor of love, but hey, it's definitely worth it. This is also great for burger toppings and mac and cheese and everything. So now that it has gotten to the nice golden brown stage, I'm going to deglaze. Deglaze is just another fancy word for taking alcohol and scraping all those brown bits off. You want to do this constantly over medium heat or medium low. Low and slow. This time I'm going to use some Calvados. Calvados is apple brandy. I wanted to tie in all the flavors of apple into my app. So this is deglazing. You're going to scrape all the delicious brown flavor. That's flavor right there. So scrape it up. Oh, if you guys could smell it. Sarah, if you could smell this. Smells like fall. So if you guys are doing this ahead for a party, you can stop it here, let it cool down, put it in a container, and store it until your guests arrive. All right. Actually, my guests are right here, so I'm gonna plate up a few. So what I have is some baguette that I just cut on a bias just to make it look a little pretty. I'm gonna scoop up some caramelized onions, land it right here. Like so. Ooh, oh, nice. I thought I was gonna drop that. This is a great, easy app for any, like a before dinner, or, you know, if you guys just have some wine and cheese going, this is great too. Serve some fresh apples on the side. Give them a hot app. Okay, so, that burned a little. My hand, that is. So this is great, and then I'm gonna top it off with some freshly sliced Granny Smith. This is the apple we're highlighting today. This is also a great make ahead. If you just cut off an apple, get rid of the core, and then cut it vertically, you can soak this in a little lemon juice with water and soak it overnight. When your guests arrive, take it out, pat it dry, and there you go. So I'm gonna give about 2. You can dice this, you can make julienne with your pretty matchsticks. I'm gonna do slices because I wanna have a nice crunch, and it's even. All right, so like so. I'm gonna top off with some grated Gruyere. I like Gruyere, it has a nice funk. Ooh, I like to grate on the smaller hole because I feel like it melts a little faster. Is there another cheese if you're not a fan of Gruyere? Yes, a great one is a sharp yellow cheddar. That is delicious. Let us know what cheese you're thinking, write in the comments below. So you're gonna top it off. You can, if you're doing this under the broiler, put this in an oven safe dish or a baking dish. However, I'm not gonna use it, I'm gonna use fire. Take 2. Yeah. Pull it away. Guys, this heavenly. Look at that. You will be the most popular apple app out there. These are also extremely hot, so don't eat them right away. I'm gonna let them cool off. Alrighty. Now that's an apple app. I'm gonna put this right here, let it cool off before we all burn our mouths. I'm gonna talk about my good classic friend, pork chops and applesauce. Pork chops have a really bad rep. I feel like people overcook them and they get dry and like you throw them across the wall and they'll come back at you like a boomerang, and that's not pleasant. So why not make a good little safety, as you may, a little sauce for your pork chops. So I have some apricot glaze. I have some sage. If you don't like sage, you can swap it out for thyme, rosemary, parsley, or just omit it all together. Worcestershire and some water. I'm gonna add a little pinch of salt. You're gonna stir that right up. I have some, which is my favorite, thin bone-in pork chops. They are amazing, and they cook so quickly. This is a great weeknight dinner. The bone keeps it nice and juicy. We're gonna toss it around. This is so quick. I also have some roasted cubed turnip and parsnips and red onion in the oven. I also have 2 gala apples. Took a tablespoon of this and spread on each half before I added the pork. I'm doing this for time reasons. Again, recipe is available on the link above or below or somewhere. You guys know where the link is by this point. So you're gonna toss it in. I love apricot preserves because you get really nice big chunks of apricot. Okay, so right after this, you're going to put it back in a baking dish. And you're gonna pop it under the broiler, like so. You wanna make sure they are nicely coated on an even layer so they can broil. You're going to broil them about, give or take a few minutes, maybe 3 minutes per side. It really depends on the heat of your broiler. If you don't have a broiler and you don't want to turn on your oven, you can always do this in a skillet. So you're gonna pop this in the broiler until it gets nice and golden brown. It won't take more than 4 minutes aside. You don't want to cook it, you don't want to overcook it, so make sure. The temp you also want to take pork to is 145 degrees and it has to like rest. So you can always take an internal thermometer, stick it in the deepest part of the pork chop to get a temp. That way you won't get sick and you won't get your friends sick. So we're gonna pop that in the oven. What you're going to do is take your marinade. I already have some in the saucepan. I'm gonna bring this to a boil. You wanna make sure you bring your marinade that you coated the raw pork for a full boil and let it simmer for a few minutes. This will cook off all the germy and the bacteria that the raw pork has. This was already cooked down. It's not much, but it's enough to glaze your pork chops over. I'm just gonna warm this up. If you did over reduce it like I did, you can always add a splash of water, or I like to add a splash of apple cider. Brings out that apple flavor, and now we can make more of a glaze. Smells amazing. So while this is hanging out, I'm gonna pull out my roasted veg and pork chops. And my apples. I want you guys to see what I did here. So here are just some diced up vegetable, and these are the apples I was talking about. They don't look like much now, but trust me, it is plenty. Here are my pork chops, and I'm running out of room. They stack. Great, we're gonna plate a dish up. Good old pork chop, some roasted veg. This is a great little kickoff to autumn dinner or lunch. And then we're going to scoop an apple, like so. You're like, how is that applesauce? Well, let me show you. Just squish it in. Look, that is a nice squishy apple. I use Gala because it breaks down and it's nice and soft and it's sweet. So you're going to drizzle some of that glaze over. It smells so good. I really like adding the apple cider in there. So there you have it. Pork chops and applesauce 2.0. Okay, so now my favorite part, dessert, because I love my apple pie. But like I promised, it's not your mama's apple pie. My mama actually never made apple pie. She always bought it from the store. So these are actually better, and these are my favorite ways of having apple pie because I feel like it's better for you because you're eating more fruit. We just hollowed out some apples. This one we're gonna highlight the pink lady. We hollowed her out and then we chopped up the apple filling to make another filling to put it back in. Follow? So we have this chopped. We are going to sprinkle some cinnamon, lemon juice, sugar, brown sugar, nutmeg, AP flour for binding. Then you're gonna stir it together. I also like this recipe because everyone gets their own little pie. If you guys want to omit getting a lot of the spice containers, there's a little hack at the supermarket. There's one container called apple pie spice. So get that. This smells like those fall candles that you smell at the mall. One shop has it and the whole mall smells like it. And the other shop smells like cologne. You know what I'm talking about. So we're gonna fill this in. like so. They're so cute. Great tip. If your apple's a little wobbly, just shave off at the bottom. Make sure you don't have an empty hole. I want to show you. So then it has a flat bottom to sit on. Fill this up. Not too full. I've got a little too generous because you have to make, of course, the lattice top. There we go. Now everyone has about the same. So now we're going to do the lattice top because that's just how I like my apples. I'm going to show you guys how to do one. This was just pre-made pie dough that you get at the supermarket. Okay, I have a major confession, guys. I'm really bad at lattice because my brain doesn't like to follow rules. So I'm going to try to do this the best way I can. So what I did was fit 3 and then I overlap 1, and we're going to do this really quickly. So you're going to do that, and then you're going to take extra pie strips, pie crust strip, and you're going to stick on the side like so. I need some glue. Sarah's like, Viv, you have no glue. How is your pie crust going to stick? Guys, you know what I do recommend? Doing this at home first before you bring your guests over. Do a trial run. Do it like on a Tuesday night, and then when you perfected and figured out all the kinks, you invite your guests for Saturday and be like, look at these gorgeous things I made. I whipped up. Brush, brush, brush. Okay, so like so. And it looks like a little pie. You're gonna brush that in. You can sprinkle some sugar, but I'm not gonna sprinkle any more sugar. So, I know the recipe calls for adding water and then cover with foil. We're going to add apple cider. Our food stylist, Allison, thought of this today, and she's genius, because why not bring extra apple-y flavor? So I'm gonna sprinkle this just a little bit, not too much, so give or take a thin layer until the whole dish is fully coated. We're going to cover these with aluminum, and we're gonna bake them. Because this is TV magic or internet magic, ta-da! Look what I whipped up for lattice apple pie. These are gorgeous and so fun. So we're going to plate one up, and look, it still holds its shape. And what is apple pie without ice cream? We're going to take a scoop of ice cream, plop. Alrighty, we're gonna put this to the side, put this guy here, and I'm gonna pour some apple cider. And you know what I like to do, if you wanna make it extra festive, you can add a splash of some Calvados, because you have it already. So everyone's like, what's in the cider? It's the best cider ever. Remember, Mondays never have to bite, you just need a bite of something delicious. Till next week, bye guys, an apple a day. Click here for more videos, click here to subscribe to Food Network, and write your comments below.